morning, greetings, friends, and welcome to The Bright Side, your nutritional program dedicated to the understanding of the vast world of nutrition and nutritional supplementation. I'm your host, Pharmacist Ben, nutritional pharmacist from Boulder, Colorado. I specialize in using nutritional supplements where other healthcare practitioners use toxic pharmaceutical drugs and sometimes deadly medical procedures. If you suspect that there are natural nutritional roads to your vitality and health and well-being and to addressing your health challenges, whatever they may be, but you don't know where to begin, you have come to the right place. As you listen to The Bright Side every day, you are more and more in control of your body. You are more and more knowledgeable, and you know you can overcome any health issue. That is why we are here every day on The Bright Side, helping clear up the sometimes confusing world of nutrition and nutritional supplementation. Over the last 29 years of practicing pharmacy, I've seen drug-free recoveries from diabetes and hypertension and obesity and skin diseases like psoriasis, eczema, rosacea, acne, digestive ailments, autoimmune issues of all kinds, recoveries that by the standards of modern medicine can only be called a miracle, but what is in the world of the body, what is in the world of biology, standard operating procedure, because the human biological system, the human body, is a healing system. It's a regenerating system. It's designed divinely to heal and renew itself on a moment-to-moment basis, and while some folks may call that healing, renewing, regenerating system a miracle, it really is just the way the body works. If you have questions about health or nutrition or prescription drugs, we are here for you. We welcome your calls, 844-236-6010. If you have questions about a health challenge, a frustrating health challenge that you're having problems dealing with, that a loved one or family member or workmate is having problems dealing with, we can help you. 844-236-6010 is our number. If you have questions about the longevity products, formulations, skincare, something you may have heard about or read about in the newspaper or in the mainstream media, we can help you understand whatever it is in the world of health and nutrition. 844-236-6010 is our number today and every day on The Bright Side. If you're interested in purchasing any of the longevity products you hear advertised on the program or recommended on the program, please head over to my website, brightsideben.com or criticalhealthnews.com or pharmacistben.com. You can order products right off the website. You can also call the Bright Side Ben team at 866-735-2470, 866-735-2470. And, of course, if you're interested in purchasing any of our skin health products, Truth Treatment products, you can go to truthtreatments.com. Make sure you take a especially long look at our retinol 5% gel, especially if you're dealing with dark spots, hyperpigmentation, accelerated aging, wrinkles, or if you got a teenager in your family, or if you are a teenager, or if you're not a teenager and you're an adult dealing with acne or pimples, retinol is an awesome way to prevent the formation of blemishes and pimples, to accelerate their healing as well. And, of course, our retinol 5% gel not only is made with 5% retinol, which you're not going to find anywhere, it's also made with a whole bunch of vitamin C, never any preservatives, never any fillers or waxes, all 100% active or functional ingredients in all of our Truth Treatment formulations. Okay, 844-236-6010 is our number on The Bright Side. We'll get your calls here in our second or third segment, depending on how many calls we get. We're talking hormones and hormone health. This is a critically important subject when it comes to health, when it comes to nutrition as well, for a couple of reasons. For one thing, hormones represent a major control point for all health issues and all disease issues. Hormones represent our major control point over our health and over our lack of health. Health and illness, health and disease are two poles of a wellness continuum. All the way to the left side of our continuum, you have disease. All the way to the right side, on the other end of our continuum, you have health. And this continuum, this health or non-health or disease or health continuum, is completely regulated by hormones. As important as nutrition is, both macronutrition, protein, fats, carbohydrates, fiber, and water, and micronutrition, vitamins and minerals, as important as they are, macro and micronutrition, their significance, their relevance to our health or our lack of health is via hormones. Nutrition turns on turns on healthy hormones, or nutrition or lack of nutrition will turn on stress hormones. So when we're well nutrited, we're making happy hormones. We're making healthy hormones. We're making building hormones. When we're not nutriated, we're making stress hormones, breakdown hormones, emergency hormones, fear hormones. And this is why nutrition is so important. It's a control point for hormonal health. When we're well nutriated, we're going to produce the hormones of growth and repair. When we're undernutriated, we're going to produce the hormones of stress and breakdown. Nutrition is vitally important, obviously, but it's important via this hormone connection. A second major control point. Nutrition is one control point. A second major control point, which is unfortunately marginalized, and in my opinion, not given anywhere near the amount of importance that it should, not treated with anywhere near the amount of respect that it should be, this control point is our thoughts and our emotions. It is this control point that is what accounts for what's called the placebo effect, the great mystery. How is it that we can think that a pill works and then it will work? How does this occur? That's what the placebo effect is. A sugar pill will cause exactly the same kind of response, for better or worse, that a real drug will, simply by our belief. This is so phenomenal. And it's something nobody ever talks about. We can think ourselves healthy. Simply by believing a medicine will work, even if it's just a sugar pill, it'll work. And this may be the most important of the ugly little secrets of our drug company model of health. Of course, the most important ugly little secret is that drugs don't do anything for our health. They mask our symptoms, period. There's not a drug on planet Earth that will reverse your degenerative disease. I don't understand how our medical professionals, our esteemed medical professionals, can't get this through their collectively stupid brains. A statin drug doesn't cure heart disease. A diabetes drug doesn't reverse diabetes. There aren't any drugs that will reverse degenerative disease. They mask symptoms. And that's a really ugly little secret about pharmacology and about our pharmacological medical model. But a second ugly little secret that the drug companies don't want us to know, that the medical model doesn't want us to know, not necessarily the individual doctors, by the way. The individual doctors who are more often than not, they themselves are dupes. They themselves are useful idiots. They themselves have bought into the medical model. They themselves are entranced, and they're carrying the water of the drug companies and the device companies and the hospital companies. That's who owns the doctors, by the way. Your doctor doesn't work for you. He works for Kaiser. Your doctor doesn't work for you. He works for the HMO. So it's not the fault of the doctors. They're just hypnotized themselves. They're fooled themselves. They believe in the nonsense themselves because that's how they're trained. So it's not their fault. But the model itself is predatory and exploitative. And one of the major dirty little secrets that it doesn't want us to know is that we can believe ourselves healthy. That's called the placebo effect. And the placebo effect is so darn powerful that when drug companies are testing out drugs, they got to filter it out. They got to factor it in when they're testing their drugs. They do something called a double-blind study. You probably heard of this term, a double-blind study. What does double-blind mean? It means that when they're doing the study, the person taking the pill doesn't know what the pill is, whether it's real or not, and the person giving the pill doesn't know. The administrator of the pill doesn't know whether that's a sugar pill or whether it's real. Why would they have to hide the nature of the medicine, whether it's real or not real, from the administrator? Because if the administrator of the pill knows that he's giving the patient a sugar pill, that will affect the results. How do you like that? Not only does the placebo effect affect the person who's taking the pill, it affects the administrator of the pill, and that's why they have to do a double-blind study. What I'm saying here, folks, is drug companies know that the mind affects how effective a treatment's going to be. The mind impacts the potency of a medicine. And this raises the obvious question, why do we even need the drugs? If our mind is so powerful and has such a dramatic effect on the results of an experiment, why do we need the drug in the first place? This is the dirty little secret of pharmacology, and it represents a major, major point of power for us over our health. All right, I'm Pharmacist Ben. You are listening to The Bright Side on the Genesis Communication Network. We will take a break and come back with more good health information and your phone calls as well. 844-236-6010 is our number. Don't go away. We'll be back after this. Welcome back to The Bright Side. I'm Pharmacist Ben. Got a line open for you. 844-236-6010. 844-236-6010 is our number. If you're interested in checking out our videos. We're doing YouTube videos on various health subjects. We did Alzheimer's disease and macular degeneration. We're going to do tinnitus on our next video. Go to criticalhealthnews.com. Sign up for the videos. You'll be notified when a new video is posted. And also you can sign up for our newsletter, which we send out every week, a couple times a week sometimes. Go to criticalhealthnews.com. You can order longevity products off the website as well, criticalhealthnews.com. You can order longevity products off of pharmacistben.com and brightsideben.com as well. And you can sign up to join the Brightside Ben team off all the websites, criticalhealthnews.com, brightsideben.com, and pharmacistben.com, or you can call the phone team at 866-735-2470. Okay, so why do we even need drugs at all if we got a placebo effect? If we know that the mind is so powerful that you can change biochemistry, and not only can it change biochemistry for us, but if the administrator of a pill knows whether the pill is a sugar pill or a real pill, it'll change our biochemistry. That's how extensive this placebo effect is. The power of the mind, the power of suggestion is how hypnosis works. Why do we even need drugs at all? Wouldn't it be nice if we could just mentally control our biochemistry? Well, we do. We mentally control our biochemistry, and the only reason we don't do it more, and we don't do it with volition and intention and consciousness, is because we're led to believe that we need our doctors. We're led to believe we need our drugs. We're led to believe we need somebody outside of ourselves. We need an authority. The word authority comes from the word author. When we go to an outside authority, which we hear all the time, if you're watching television, how many times a day, how many times an hour do you hear, check with your doctor, ask your doctor, talk to your doctor, don't do anything without your doctor? This is message to us at every turn to go outside ourselves, to go to an outside authority, author, to have somebody else write our story. That's what it means when we go to an authority. Somebody else is writing our health story. How does that sound? Do we really want somebody else to write our health story? Become our own authorities via this mental connection to our hormones, this mind connection, and this emotional connection to our hormones. We can become our own authority via this placebo effect and via something called the nocebo effect. The placebo effect is this biochemical phenomena that allows our body to be controlled for health via our mind and via our thoughts. But the nocebo effect is the witch doctor effect. It demonstrates that not only can the mind lead to health, not only can our feelings and mental thoughts initiate the biochemistry of health, but our mental thoughts, our mental nature, and our feelings can also initiate the biochemistry of disease. That's called the nocebo effect. The nocebo effect is so significant that there's actually an American Health Foundation nocebo conference. It talked about the nocebo effect. I call it the witch doctor effect. This is where the ancient shaman, the ancient witch doctor, would give somebody the evil eye and they would drop dead. This is what they used to do thousands of years ago. They still do it. Our high-tech society has doctors telling cancer patients they got 6 months to live. And guess what? They have 6 months to live because the doctor told them. Or the doctor would say, well, you're going to be on this medicine for the rest of your life. And guess what? We're on the medicine for the rest of our life. That's the nocebo effect. This power between the mind and our feelings and our bodies needs to be leveraged. It needs to be taken advantage of, for better or for worse. It needs to be understood for better or for worse. It needs to be taken advantage of for better. Make no mistake about it. Long-term chronic degenerative diseases, whatever they are, and fear go hand in hand. There's no disease without the endocrinology, the hormones of fear, cortisol and adrenaline and aldosterone. Fear is an internalized response to our environment and represents our control point over our health. If we want to free ourselves from the tyranny of the medical model, from pharmacology, from the poison of the medical model, the first place to start is with our beliefs of fear, our thoughts of fear, our emotions of fear. And it's understandable that we would be so impacted by fear that it would change our health, that it would change the parameters of our health. We live in a political environment of fear. We live in a marketing environment, a commercial environment of fear. That's how they sell us deodorant. Oh, you better wear this deodorant or you're not going to have any friends. You better buy this dress, or you better buy this tie, or you better buy these shoes, or you better buy this stereo, or you better buy this iPhone, or whatever it is, or else nobody's going to like you, or you're going to be missing out. FOMO, fear of missing out. I don't know if you've ever heard of that one. FOMO. We live in a cultural environment of fear. We live in a health environment of fear. Ebola and epidemics and HIV and germs and genetics and cancer. Everywhere we turn, we live in a health environment of fear. That's why I call this program The Bright Side, by the way, because I want us to know, I want everybody listening to know that we don't have to live in a health environment of fear. We don't have to live in a political environment of fear. We don't have to live in a medical environment of fear. We don't have to live in a cultural environment of fear because we control our fear response. If we're sick, if we've got a chronic long-term degenerative disease, rest assured we're living in a body and a biochemistry of fear. If you're listening to news or talk radio or you're participating in Trumpian politics and you find yourself in fear, stop listening. Change the station. Turn off the radio. Turn off the TV. Have you ever noticed how much awful stuff is on the news? That awful stuff that's on the news that mostly is completely irrelevant to our lives and serves us in no way except to make us scared. Are our lives in any way any better because we know that police in Wilmington, Delaware shot a man in a wheelchair? Does that change your life at all? What does that do for us except make us fear the police? Do we need to know that a 5-year-old boy in Kentucky was killed when he was hit by a school bus? This is what is on CNN. Go to CNN.com. You'll find out that a 5-year-old boy in Kentucky was killed when he was hit by a school bus. Now, that's tragic. Obviously, that's terrible. But do we need to know this? Do we need to know that a Seattle duck boat operator was involved in a deadly crash and he was suspended? Now, does this change our lives in any way except now to fear duck boat operators or not to want to get on a boat? Aside from real life and death survival threats, which occur rarely, if ever, somebody chasing us with a gun, or a car heading straight for us, or a lion that escaped from the zoo looking to make us into his lunch. When was the last time our lives were really at stake by something that we're scared of? For most of us, our fear responses, our disease-inducing fear responses, are the result of our imaginations. They're based on our families, our credit card bills, our children. They're implanted into us by radio show hosts, so-called news. For the most part, our fears, the fears that cause disease, the fears that initiate the hormonal chemistry of disease, are beliefs. They're imagination. They're imaginary. And you know what the ultimate fear is? It's interesting because, when we hear about fear of death, fear of public speaking, fear of spiders. There's lots of fears, lots of phobias, but really, behind all of these fears, behind all of the common things that we're afraid of, whether they're imaginary fears or whether they're real fears, there's only one fear, and that is the fear of change. And that itself is related to the unknown. We fear change because we don't know what's next. Human beings have to know what's next, and if we don't know what's next, we get scared. This is what grief is about, by the way. Grief is a type of fear. When someone close to us dies, it initiates this fear of change. How will we be able to live with this new situation where a loved one is no longer with us? All right, I'm Pharmacist Ben. Got so much more to say about this fear response and the opposite of the fear response. We'll talk about that when we come back from our break, and we'll talk about it tomorrow as well. And we'll get to your phone calls, too. 844-236-6010 is our number. Okay, we are back on the bright side. I'm Pharmacist Ben. Thank you for joining us. We're on the air Monday through Friday, 8 to 9 Pacific and 10 to 11 Central Time, 24/7 on our archive page, brightsideben.com. Also, benfuchsarchives.com. Thank you to Peter in the UK for setting that one up. And also, criticalhealthnews.com and pharmacistben.com. You can check out our blog and news stories on both of those sites. Thank you to John T. Collier and Robert Lundgren for setting those up. Pharmacistben.com and criticalhealthnews.com. If you want to purchase any of the longevity products you hear us advertised or recommend on the program, you can head right to the website and purchase products right off the site, or you can sign up to join the Brightside Ben team right off of the website, or you can call the Brightside Ben phone team at 866-735-2470, 866-735-2470. Okay, so I don't want to beat a dead horse here, but there's so much stuff to talk about when it comes to the fear response. Do you know there's a relationship between addiction and the fear response? We'll talk about that tomorrow, and then tomorrow we'll talk about the opposite of the fear response. Just like there's two great poles in the body, two great poles of health. You've got health and you've got non-health, or health and disease. You also have a relationship between fear and another pole. You have a parasympathetic nervous system that regulates this other pole, and you have a sympathetic nervous system that regulates the fear response, and that is behind our chronic degenerative diseases. We'll talk about this second pole and how you can access it tomorrow on the bright side, and we'll talk about addiction as well, and how addiction works via this fear response. Then we'll get into some hardcore hormones that we can use to help support the body's anti-fear response. We'll do all that tomorrow and in the coming days on the bright side. Time to hit our phones, 844-236-6010. Carl, the Truth Raider, what's going on, man? You must really want to talk to Pharmacist Ben. You've been on hold
Absolutely.
forever. What's going on?
I've got skin and eye allergies going on.
Okay.
I think I'm a little bit allergic to my little girl.
You are? That... Oh, your little, is that your little girl? Oh, that's sweet. I don't want you to be allergic to her. Here's what you do. And it's funny you said that because Trevor, my producer, and I were just talking in the break about allergies. The allergies are a manifestation of a hyped up immune response. And by the way, the immune response is related to fear, and we'll talk about that in the coming days. But from a physical perspective, whenever you're dealing with allergies, whether it's allergies to a cat or whether it's allergies to pollen or whether it's allergies to food, you're dealing with a defensive response. Allergies are the way the body protects itself. Think of the signs of allergies: tearing up, mucus secretion, changes in blood pressure. All of these are ways that the body's attempting to eliminate things. Tears are a way the body attempts to wash away things. Mucus is a way that the body attempts to slime away things. High blood pressure is a way that the body attempts to release white blood cells to the enemy. All of these are mechanisms. All of these are mechanisms for, I shouldn't say high blood pressure, but blood pressure changes are ways that the body will release white blood cells or open up so that white blood cells can be released. In any case, allergies are a manifestation of a defensive response. So where does most of the immune system reside? In the digestive tract. So in addition to eliminating the stressor, that is, unfortunately, whatever we're allergic to, support your immune health via digestive strategies. Probiotics can be very, very helpful for all allergies, whether they're respiratory allergies, certainly digestive allergies, any kind of allergies. You want to focus on digestive health first and foremost by using the Biolumin Nightly Essence and fermented foods. Apple cider vinegar can help. Also, acidifying the digestive tract with betaine, B-E-T-A-I-N-E, betaine hydrochloride, pepsin, P-E-P-S-I-N, HCl. You can buy those in health food stores. Digestive enzymes can help, the ultimate enzymes, also systemic enzymes. If you want to check out some fine systemic enzymes, go to brightsidehealthproducts.com. Supporting the immune system and then removing the offending agents. There's also nutrients that will support the immune system, chief among which is vitamin C. Anybody dealing with any kind of allergic response would be wise to be using high doses of vitamin C. By high doses, I mean 5 to 10 grams a day, 5,000 to 10,000 milligrams a day. Yes, I know your standard vitamin C product is 60 milligrams. Even the Beyond Tangy Tangerine will only get you 1,000 milligrams, so you're going to need extra vitamin C. Here's the thing. For all immune issues, think vitamin C, but you want to make sure that you're dividing your dose up because vitamin C will cause some loose stools or cramping or discomfort if you take too much all at once. Zinc is also stupendously important for the immune system, and everybody, unless they're supplementing, everybody's going to be deficient in zinc. 50 milligrams a day. Magnesium is also important for the immune system. Use the OsteoFX. And then last but not least, I love vitamin E for all immune system or allergic issues. 400 to 800 international units a day of mixed tocopherols. Vitamin E, like zinc, by the way, is a common nutritional deficiency. Most people aren't getting anywhere near the zinc or the vitamin E they need from foods because it's not really found in a lot of foods. Thanks for your call, Truth Raider. Appreciate it. And hope everything works out for you with you and your little girl there. All right, let's go to KC in Pennsylvania. What's up, KC? Welcome to the Bright Side.
Hi, Ben.
Hey.
Thank you, Ben. First of all, I want to let you know that I'm a very big fan of Dr. Wallach, Dr. Glendon, and I saw your interview with Dr. Wallach. That's how I started looking at all your YouTube videos.
Oh, great.
Thank you so much for taking my call. My question is, 1.5 years before I got diagnosed as type 2 diabetic.
Okay.
And I was so genuine. I don't know all these shows and about the drugs at the time. And my doctor put me on Genumed. That's
Genumed.
Sugar. Yeah.
Genova. Are you saying Genova?
Geneva.
Geneva. Yes, I know what you're talking about.
Yeah,
Oh,
and
okay.
I came back home, and and he prescribed one blood pressure pill too.
Okay.
So after taking that one for like 15 days, I started feeling so tired. So I started Googling about all these medicines and the side effects, what they put it on online, and I got scared, and
You
I
should.
totally cut down. Yeah, I totally cut down my medicine at that time. And that's when I started doing the researches. That's how I got into all these videos about you, Dr. Valak, like that. My main reason for this call today is last Thursday, all of a sudden, I went out to Walmart, and I started feeling a little bit dizzy. And like you said, I got scared. I got panicked.
Yeah.
And I came back home, and the dizziness didn't go. And my wife is also not that much interested in this kind of medication. So she also got scared, and I went to the ER at the time. They checked my BP. It was like 220 over 120.
Oh, my gosh. Okay.
Yeah, it was very high.
How can I help you today? Tell me how I can help you.
Yeah, I got all the Yanji products I started buying from last month.
Okay.
The only thing what I did is I had the tangerine before going out on that day, but I didn't take my time. I took it like a shot, like a whole glass.
All at once? You did it all at once?
Yeah, all at once. Do you think that might be the reason for this?
It could, no, unlikely. The problem with doing the Beyond Tangy Tangerine all at once, there's two main problems. Number one, your body will tend to excrete, eliminate what you don't use. So if you take it all at once, your body will use some of it, and then it will eliminate the rest, and you'll waste your money. The second problem is you may end up with some loose stools or some cramping or bloating. So I recommend that you sip on the BTT all day long. It's not going to cause a significant health problem. You just may feel uncomfortable. You're not going to get the benefit from it. So you want to sip on the Beyond Tangy Tangerine all day long. And when you run into this stress response, this fear response, the best thing you could do is calm the body down, activate the relaxation nervous system by slow, deep breathing. Okay, we are back on the bright side. I'm Pharmacist Ben. Tomorrow we'll continue talking hormone health. On the bright side, if you're interested in checking out my blog posts, which we post once or twice a week, you can go over to my blog, criticalhealthnews.com, also pharmacistben.com. Of course, you can purchase longevity products right off the website, criticalhealthnews.com, and or pharmacistben.com, and or brightsideben.com, or you can call the Brightside Ben phone team at 866-735-2470. Mary in Michigan, what's going on? Welcome to the Bright Side.
Hi, Mary.
No,
Hi,
you're
Ben.
Mary, I'm Ben. Hi, Hi, Mary.
I'd like your help in explaining something to my husband.
Okay.
Okay, he says, I don't like sweets, so he says, I don't get any sugar.
Okay.
But he eats enough pasta to kill a horse.
You know what he can do? Here's a trick for him, and this will help. Have him, when he eats his pasta, instead of swallowing it down, have him take a couple of strands of pasta, keep it in his mouth, and let the enzymes work on the pasta in his mouth, and sugar will start to come out. You have an enzyme in your mouth in your saliva called amylase, A-M-Y-L-A-S-E. Amylase breaks down starch into sugar. This is what happens inside the body as well, but he'll know it because he'll taste the sugar. And you could do it with bread or potatoes or any cereal, foods that don't strike you as being sugar. If you let the amylase in your saliva, the carbohydrate enzyme in your saliva, break down that pasta, sugar will be released and it'll taste sweet. You can do it with any kind of flour or a starchy kind of carbohydrate.
Well, he's kind of he's kind of have to see it kind of thing. You know what I'm saying?
What do you mean?
You
can read up on it. I mean, just read up on it.
What I was hoping to do was, when you look at the package of pasta,
it doesn't say it. It's not going to say sugar on there. It'll say carbs.
Okay, well, that's what I kind of wanted to ask you. Is there any way of comparing what the label on the pasta says to, say, a box of sugar cubes?
No. You can't do it, except for
you can't do it through calories.
Yeah, you can. You can. I was about to tell you, you could do it through calories, but it's still not going to be. It's not going to prove it to him. You know, it's not going to prove anything. But the taste of the sweet will prove it to him. If he'll taste the sweet himself. Doesn't matter what it says on the box. He can taste it. So, and also, here's another thing he could do. Stop eating the pasta and watch his blood pressure drop, or watch the pounds come off, or watch the cholesterol go down. These are the three major things that sugar does that impact our health dramatically. Number one, sugar will raise your blood fats and your blood cholesterol. Number two, sugar will raise your blood pressure. And number three, sugar will raise your poundage. It'll make you fat.
Right.
So when he stops eating the pasta, what's going to happen? He's going to drop the pounds. He's going to drop his cholesterol and his blood fats, and his blood pressure will drop. This accounts for three of the most important aspects of our lack of health in this country: blood fats and fatty liver and changes in how we process fats, hypertension and cardiovascular disease in general, and obesity. These are all sugar issues. They're not doctor issues. I'm sorry, I accidentally let our last caller, KC from Pennsylvania, go because he's dealing with diabetes. Listen, type 2 diabetes affects 100 million people in this country,
Well,
or maybe
what I'm
even more.
about.
Of course you should be.
And I think he is beginning to be concerned about it.
You know, get on this. There's
I
two.
say to him, but you're getting too much sugar. But there's just that blockage there.
I just eat pasta. Well, look, I can't help you with your husband, so
Well,
I mean, I don't know what to.
We are about to do together. We're about to do that liver cleanse with Dr. Group.
Okay, I don't know what the best liver cleanse is to stop eating. That's the best liver cleanse.
That.
You don't need a product to do a liver cleanse, in my humble opinion. And I wouldn't waste.
For 6 days, he won't be eating any of this stuff. Is what I'm trying to say. And it's a strict diet, and so for 6 days, he's not going to be eating any of this stuff.
Okay.
And I was hoping during that 6 days, if I could sort of, show him on black and white paper, this is what's equating to this. But I guess I can't, because I tried it one time, and I guess I was going by calories. For the label on the box and the label on the sugar cube box.
Well, there's two kinds of carbohydrates on the label. You're going to have the kind of carbohydrates that are represented by fiber, and then you have the kind of carbohydrates that are represented by sugar. Fiber is not processed the same way as sugar. Sugar is the problem. So don't necessarily. It's going to be a little bit hard to understand on the ingredient deck how much sugar he's getting. But if he wants to figure it out roughly, he can just divide the amount of calories that he's getting from sugar. And I think sugar has per gram, let me see how much it has, calories per gram. I think it's like 9 calories per gram, something like that.
Yeah.
It's not, is it 9 calories per gram?
I think so, yeah.
No, it's 4 calories per gram, I think. Let's see what it says here. According to the American Heart Association, sugar has, there's all kinds of different numbers here. Sugar has about 4 calories per gram. So he can do the math if he wants to, but it's not necessary to do it that way. Just taste the pasta, let it dissolve, and he'll taste the sugar. Simple as that. Don't overthink things. Thanks for your call, Mary. And also, by the way, the sweeties and the B complex, especially niacin, and vitamin B1 and the sweeties, chromium, vanadium, are the most important sugar metabolizing nutrients, although selenium is important and magnesium is important and zinc is important as well. But the B complex, stupendously vital, and chromium and vanadium. Okay, I'm going to let you go, Mary. Thanks for your call. Appreciate it very much. Let's go to Bunny in Michigan. What's up, Bunny? Welcome to the Bright Side.
Hi, Ben. I've been listening to you for some time now, but I begin to learn from you, and then it gets overwhelming. So,
I'm sorry to do that. I don't know how else to. I'm trying to make it less overwhelming. What's overwhelming to you, Bunny?
Well, I have my main thing is extreme joint pain. I'm in pain almost 24/7 unless I don't move. I've already had
That's not good.
a vascular necrosis of the femoral head.
Okay.
And I had a hip replacement 2 years ago.
Okay. A vascular necrosis just means of the femoral head, just means the bone is dying because it's not getting blood supply.
Right,
All of this.
I went past that. So I went 2 years. I took 2 inches off my leg bone because I was on a cane for about a year and a half.
How old are you, Bunny?
67.
Okay, got one word for you, and that's all. We're going to simplify it. And I know I'm sometimes overwhelming. I don't mean to be, but.
Oh, no, that's okay.
Okay, I'm going to one word. We're going to simplify it. One word is simple, right? So this cuts through everything. Inflammation. Now, you should be asking what the heck is inflammation? How does that work? Inflammation is defense. So I know I've said it a bunch of times, but I'll say it again because we got a lot of new listeners, and repetition is reinforcement. Right. Inflammation is the body's way of protecting itself. When you hear the word inflammation, what you're dealing with is a beaver's dam. A beaver's dam kind of like surrounds the water and keeps the water trapped. Well, inflammation does the same thing. It surrounds an injured area and keeps that injured area sequestered from the rest of the body. This is a good thing. You can't heal without inflammation. The problem is when it's chronic and it's long-term. So when you have a condition like joint pain that doesn't go away, or avascular necrosis, which is a severe, severe condition, you've got long-term inflammation, a beaver's dam that's not going away. You follow me?
Yeah.
So we got to figure.
My joint in my thumb.
Well, hang on, Bunny. I've only got about a minute, so I want to get you some answers here, okay? So inflammation is the way the body's protecting itself. When you have long-term inflammation, the only thing you need to know is, what is my body protecting itself from? Well, it's not protecting itself from angel dust, right? It's not protecting itself from little arrows that elves are shooting at you. You know, it's not protecting you from evil clouds in the air. It's protecting itself. The body's protecting itself from something that's getting inside chronically over and over and over again. And unless you're in the back alley shooting crack, which I don't think you are, Bunny, the chances are pretty good that your body's protecting itself from something you're eating over and over and over again. And I'm going to tell you something. I'm going to guarantee this with 100% certainty. You have had a digestive condition for decades.
Yes.
Not for decades. And I'm not a psychic. I'm a pharmacist. I'm telling you how it works. Okay?
Right.
So, Bunny, if you were to fast for a couple of days, do a Suero V fast, all right?
Okay.
Get yourself on the Suero V, do half a bottle every hour for 12 hours or 24 hours or even longer. You're going to notice your symptoms subside. Because every time we eat, even good food, let alone problem food, even good food, our body's immune system wakes up. An inflammatory response is initiated by everything, especially dead food, especially processed food, especially food that causes allergic or immune responses. But any food will do it. So fasting, number one, is the first thing to do. Then you start to add foods in. After you fast, you start to eat foods. Probably starting with your favorite foods is a good idea. And notice that as soon as you eat your bread or your pasta or your potatoes or your cereal or whatever it is you love, your inflammation gets worse and your pain gets worse, and then you know that's a food that you need to eliminate. Then you simultaneously, I don't want to say sequentially, but at the same time, you support digestive health with probiotics, the Biolumin Nightly Essence, fermented foods. Use the Jordan Rubin products. They're absolutely wonderful for getting you good bacteria. Make sure you're using your Fucoid Z and your Healthy Start Pack especially, including the Ultimate EFAs. Support digestive health, and you'll notice your joint problems improve. You probably have high blood pressure issues and weight issues too, and those will improve as well. Wish we had more time, Bunny, but that's all we got time for on the bright side, and apologize for leaving you on hold if we did that. Call back tomorrow, tell our call screener that we left you on hold. We'll get you first up. Thanks for listening, friends. I'm Pharmacist Ben. Check out my website, truthtreatments.com, and our retinol 5% cream, 5% gel, as well as brightsideben.com or pharmacistben.com or criticalhealthnews.com. We'll talk to y'all later. Have a spectacular, awesome, wonderful day. I'm Pharmacist Ben. Bye for now.